All right, welcome back. What I'm gonna do is a brief-ish video where I talk about. Man, this is gonna be really interesting. Um, what we're gonna talk about today is loss. Say it that way. Okay. I'm gonna try to get through this video. This is we're not gonna talk about what attempt is. I don't know if you can tell my eyes are already red. We're gonna try and get through this video. Uh, the video is both for me to cope with it and for you to potentially show your kids, show your friends. It's okay to be vulnerable. Um, okay, so I had a pet cat named Bella for about 12 to 13 years. Um, she was a good cat. She was affectionate. And I'm gonna do this in one take. I'm gonna just, there's gonna be a lot of breathing. I apologize in advance. It's not just dealing with the loss. I mean, it's obviously dealing with the loss, but it's also processing how it affects other people. So like how it affects, you know, the other people that interact with the cat. How it affected my son. It's just it's a lot. So some background. She had been, um, because she's older, seemingly a little bit less active, but didn't really think much of it. Plus, there's a ton of stuff that was going on. Shouldn't be an excuse, but there's a ton of stuff going on. So I just kind of attributed it to, her being stressed, her being older, her just being a little less active. She just seemed to be laying down a lot more. Okay. Um, she then lost a lot of weight very quickly. Um, and took her to the vet. Vet advised that there was an infection and diabetes, um, and prescribed some antibiotics and insulin for her, um, that she had to take after food, which makes sense. I mean, if you're on antibiotics, you'd have to eat food with it. And insulin you can't take without food because then you'll go into like shock and everything. So, um, brought her home from the vet, and she wasn't doing much better. She ate a little bit, but barely. I mean, it was negligible in the grand scheme of how much she normally ate. Um, and then developed conjunctivitis. So her eyes were basically closing, and it got to a point that she was moving in a way that you could tell she was just in pain. So we ended up taking her to the vet. The vet realized pretty quickly that she was not doing well and that she was in pain, um, and suggested that there was an option to basically hook the cat up to IVs and force feed it, which would have prolonged, potentially by a few days, maybe if it worked, or because she was in so much pain and she just was refusing to eat, refusing to take water, um, to allow her to pass so that she wasn't in pain. It I don't ever think it's gonna be a decision that I'm okay with. I mean, I understand, like, it's coming from a selfish place, right? Like, I obviously didn't want the cat to pass, but seeing the level of pain that she was in was also heartbreaking. So the decision was made. She was given a like muscle relaxant for them to be able to let her pass, and she did peacefully. I mean, it's them putting her basically to sleep. But she was a good cat. I mean, she was very nice to everyone. Anyone that ever met her had said she was a good cat. There's no real point to this video except to me talk about my loss and to let people know it's okay to be sad. Let your kids know. Let your kids watch and let them see a grown person say they're sad, and let them know it's okay to be sad. If you're watching this and you're younger than me, to any degree, you're younger than me, it's okay to be sad. You lose your pet, you can be sad. Just take the time to grieve, process it the way that you will. It's okay. No one will fault you for it, or no one should fault you for it. I mean, it's a pet that you loved, or anyone that you lose. It could be a family member, it could be a friend. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve in the way that helps you to process. I will say, try and find productive ways to grieve. If you feel like, for any reason, the grieving process is not going well for you, refer to my other video that I made about therapy and talk to someone. I would suggest talk to someone professionally because it can help. If you're uncomfortable with that and it's too much, that's asking too much, that's too much of a push, anyone, a friend, a family member, somebody to talk to, somebody to vent things about, because your health is important, your mental health is important, and if things are bothering you to a point you don't want to just bottle it up inside, it has the potential to cause health problems like stress, anxiety, and you don't want that moving forward. I just want to thank everybody who's subscribed to the channel, who watches all this, and allows me the forum to process through things the way that I want to, and just put up whatever I want to. Currently, the point of the channel is to create a community where we all talk to each other. I talk to you in comments. I'll create, Discords and Patreons. We'll talk to each other more. We'll all be comfortable opening up, having conversations that are uncomfortable, and reacting to things, and just making it a better life experience. So we can all do this together, and I want to thank you all for all of your support, getting me to 1,000 subscribers, and just continuing to watch the things that I put out. I genuinely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.